Welcome to the channel. This is the Coach's Corner where we review NXT, and today is a very good day. It's a great day actually because Stephanie Vaquer is still a double champion. I was a bit concerned when the show opened because we started with the NXT Women's World Championship, which could kind of indicate the Women's North American Championship might change hands in the main event. Thankfully it did not. That was just to throw you off. Stephanie Vaquer retains the NXT Women's Championship against Jaida Parker to open the show. What a banger of a match. She did have some help from Jordynne Grace, who kind of distracted Jaida Parker. This was enough to allow Stephanie Vaquer to pick up the victory. So it kind of looks like we're not going to get Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordynne Grace at Stand and Deliver. We're most likely heading towards Jordynne Grace versus Jaida Parker, which is a good thing. Neither Jordynne Grace or Stephanie Vaquer should lose a match for the NXT Women's Championship just yet, and that's not a match for the Women's North American Championship. So it's good that we're waiting for a bit. And then after the match, Fallon Henley and Fatal Influence attacked Stephanie Vaquer ahead of their match later tonight, just taking advantage of the moment, natural heel moves, so that Stephanie Vaquer is just a little bit more beat down for the main event, which we'll get to in a bit. Now backstage, Ava goes to check up on Stephanie, but the Meta Girls tell Ava to just hold up and ask her why they're not getting a shot at the NXT TNA Women's Tag Team Championships and why freaks like Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley are getting it instead. Gigi and Tatum Paxley are also there, and they ask what have the Meta Girls done recently to even deserve this. All in the meanwhile, Sol and Zaria are also there, and they all just start arguing. This is why we need NXT Women's Tag Team Championships back. These are only, 3 teams, the 3 top teams, but there's so many other teams also here, like Fatal Influence, who I just mentioned. There could be a legitimately great NXT Women's Tag Team division here. We really need those belts back. Please, Shawn Michaels, please HBK, bring them back. This also led to a match later tonight where Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley go up against the Meta Girls. A really good match, and I'm so happy to see the Chemical X team back on NXT. Although they were without Shotzi, I really wish we just would put her there since she's not doing anything. She was a good manager, good addition. But yeah, the Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan pick up the victory, some momentum out of their match. Man, I really hope some of these NXT Women's Tag Teams win the TNA Women's Tag Team titles and bring them to NXT, because that would be at least a start to get this Women's Tag Team division off the ground. Then we have a backstage skit with Trick Williams and Je'von Evans. Je'von Evans approaches Trick Williams, and Je'von Evans tells Trick Williams that he doesn't like how he pushed him aside last week, and Trick just says that they aren't brothers and he's focusing on Oba only right now and not Darkstate or anything else. And I've seen this theory go around a bit that Trick Williams might be part of the Darkstate since he hasn't really been attacked by them and they're not really pressuring him or attacking him or anything. And I don't think that's the case, because I'm firmly believing that Trick Williams is getting called up this WrestleMania postseason. So I don't think Trick Williams is part of this faction. But I do think this is part of Darkstate's plan to kind of put tension between guys like Je'von and Trick by making it seem like Trick is part of them, purposely not attack them. That could be a good direction to go. But back to the two of them, Je'von says that Trick keeps doubting him and he plans on proving him wrong again tonight. And Trick is just like, there's a difference between having potential and holding the titles. Je'von tells Trick he's changed since he was NXT Champion, which is true, I've talked about that before. And Trick is just like, you have never held a championship, so you wouldn't understand. I'm really liking the story between the two of them. Very reminiscent of Trick and Mello, just not to that level. But I'm really enjoying all of this between Trick, Je'von, and Oba. But Je'von has his title match later against Lexus King, which he unfortunately loses because Oba Femi arrived at the show and he viciously attacked Je'von Evans, causing him to lose via count out. And then even after the match, Oba looks to continue his attacks on Je'von Evans when the lights go out and Darkstate reappears, though they don't do anything, they're just there. And in the confusion, Je'von Evans lunges at Oba Femi, but Trick Williams also gets involved and he accidentally hits Je'von Evans with a trick shot that was meant for Oba Femi. There's a lot of confusion here, a lot of messy stuff, and eventually security gets between Trick Williams and Oba Femi. And then later in the night, before the main event, Trick Williams is leaving the arena and he's aiming for Oba Femi's championship. But when he's asked about Darkseid, he's just like, it's not his business. He's focused on the NXT Championship. Kinda interesting, Trick, kinda interesting. Now Ricky Sainz is being interviewed and he says he's using the doubters as a motivation for him when Shawn Spears crashes the interview and the two of them have a bit of a confrontation. We're definitely getting this match at Stand and Deliver and Ricky Starks is definitely winning that championship which is a great decision. And I've kind of really been enjoying the story here. Even though it's been short, it's been very interesting because Sean says like, when you're done, you can go back to where you came from, but oh wait, you burned all those bridges. And then Ricky says, well, he better win then. And it's kind of not a lot, there's not a lot there, but I really enjoyed what is there is very entertaining. And later in the match, during a throwaway match where Ethan Page defeats Andre Chase, Ricky Starks at the sideline, he's basically looking on the match, and Shawn Spears attacks him and the culling stands tall. Yeah man, I'm just really excited for this match. I think it's going to be an incredible match, and I'm excited to see Ricky Starks get the championship, and hopefully there's a long list of interesting challengers for him, because right now the division is kind of weak. We have a match between Hank and Tank and Tyson and Tyreek, which ends up with Hank and Tank losing the match. Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe pick up the victory. A very good decision. Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe need a victory after that horrible stint they had in TNA, and Hank and Tank's story just continues with them losing. Hank and Tank are then backstage again, and they're very upset with telling the Motor City Machine Guns, just your advice didn't work, it didn't help us at all. And the Motor City Machine Guns are just like, guys, you're still a relatively new team, don't compare yourselves to teams like us who've teamed for over 20 years. One day you're gonna get there. For now, just focus on being you. Now, I don't think this is going to be the turning point yet, but it's certainly very interesting, and I'm kind of starting to invest myself in this team. Slowly but surely, there are interesting stuff like tonight, where I'm slowly starting to buy more and more into Hank and Tank. Let's just keep this type of stuff going so that I can actually feel a connection to them. We also have a short Fraxiom segment where they just talk about what happened with Axiom having a match against Gunther. There's not a lot there, nothing really to talk about, just interesting to note. But the real interesting thing is the family are sitting down for a meeting, and there's discussion that they're talking about two older family members of the family. And formerly we had the full-blooded Italians be part of this family. I don't know if they're gonna return, that would be cool to see, or if there's someone else who might be coming. I don't know, but you know, it's a throwaway kind of thing, but I hope something comes of this. This would be interesting. Tony then asks, and he wants to know how the Darkstate got the drop on them, and wants all of them to dig up whatever intel they can. He then tells Stax to hold up and asks if he's good. Stax says yeah, but Darkstate got them shook. Tony says that they grew up together and says he has saved Stax before and he knew he could always trust him. Stax then stands up and tells Tony he can always trust him. Always. And that's kind of interesting. Stax is another person I've seen rumors about joining Darkstate, and that would be really interesting. Honestly, I think that would be good. I think Tony D'Angelo is kind of getting ready for a call up to the main roster, but that would leave the family in NXT kind of down and out. And if you give Stax the opportunity to join another faction where he would kind of be the leader, and then unfortunately for Adriano Rizzo and Luca Cruzfino, they would be lost in the mix, similar to what happened after Chase U with some members. But it would definitely give Stax a way out and Tony a moment to go to the main roster. I kind of want that to happen, to be honest with you. And then in the main event, Stephanie Vaquer retains her NXT Women's North American Championship against Fallon Henley. A really great match. I'm happy Stephanie Vaquer retained. I was really on edge doing this match because I genuinely thought Stephanie Vaquer might lose. Thank God she didn't, because I really want to see this continue. Yeah, overall a great match. After the match, we had that confrontation with Jordynne Grace, where Jordynne Grace was clearly after the NXT Women's World Championship. But I don't think that's gonna happen yet, because Jaida Parker also got involved. But yeah, she got thrown out real quick. If I had to give tonight's show a rating, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It was an amazing episode. The women's division was on fire, and the men's division held up relatively well, with a lot of interesting stuff, like little teases of who could be members of Darkstate, like that thing with the family, really interesting. I'm just enjoying a lot of it. NXT tonight was great, would highly suggest watching it. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know what you thought. Do you think there's any other people who could potentially join Darkstate? An offhanded rumor I've seen is that it could be Thea Hill, could be also a member. That would be interesting, but I've heard very little about it. That's just kind of a thing me and some friends have talked about. But it would be interesting. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, subscribe. We're almost at 500 subscribers. That is insane. So I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.